It was a good day for the Lakers, right? Good day in LA. Just a day ago, remember when LeBron apologized for the team's play? They beat the Jazz. Things were moving in the right direction. That's over. Last night, LeBron dropped 30, 12, and 5 and still lost to the Pacers. Karras, LeVert, and Sabonis combined for 50. Russell Westbrook was benched in the fourth quarter for botching a defensive assignment. That was the straw that broke the camel's back, according to coach. LA has dropped 4 out of 5. Frank Vogel's job is reportedly on the line. LeBron is answering questions about his big off-season acquisition. You don't think he's the GM, huh?
How was Russ after the game? Is that the sort of thing that bothers him?
Have you followed Russ throughout his career?
Not as closely as you have, probably.
Okay. Have you followed Russ throughout this season? Yeah. Would you think that would bother Russ not being in the late game? Okay. A great answer.
LeBron with a Socratic technique with the press. And, of course, Chiney Ogwumike, who went to Stanford, gets the reference. One of my West Coast connects with me now. Chiney, yesterday you told me this Lakers team is not built to win a title. When you hear LeBron in that presser, what do you think?
I'm actually not reading much into what LeBron James said, and I think that was his point. He's someone that leads with his actions, both on and off the court, than his words. And he's always been, and part of that presser was him saying that I'm a positive person, and we know that. He is a positive leader, and he's a pass-first leader. All of that positivity comes out in different ways, and that's why his version of being one of the greatest players is by a myriad of stats. And so by him not saying a lot, to me just says he's taking his teammates back and finding a way. The way you wear those amazing tailored suits, Max Kellerman, he tailors his leadership the same way for each person differently, right? So I see this as LeBron just going to keep all the business in-house because he's been doing his part. It's now galvanizing others to do theirs as well.
Chiney, I've been saying since this trade was made, like, I get what the Lakers are doing. Not Buddy Hield, he's a better shooter, he fits better. This is the island of misfit toys, but the history of the NBA is get the best player, right? You get 3 great players together, they'll figure it out. And Westbrook, in the first half of every season, 4 consecutive seasons now, new team, new teammates, he's no good anymore. Second half, he figures it out, catches fire. What's the one thing you'd like to see Westbrook change? And improving shooting doesn't count. I mean, something within his control.
What I would like to see Russell Westbrook change, obviously he's a point guard. Number 1 is limit turnovers. He leads the NBA so far this season with 188 turnovers. Second, right behind, is James Harden, for some context on his usage and what he's been able to do. 2, I want him to find creative ways to create assists. And that does not mean by passing. Sometimes that means screening. Because people, as you're seeing, he has a large distance between the guy who's supposedly closing out. And so it's like, all right, instead of just forcing a shot, which is what they want me to take, maybe I do a dribble handoff and give that space to the next shooter. And then lastly, do what he does best. Use his motor. And I think right now the Lakers, they're really struggling on defense. If he can be more active and step up to those assignments, I know that was a big issue of concern guarding Karras LeVert yesterday. If he can step up to those assignments and do those 3 things, that'll put the Lakers in a much better position.
Yeah, they're 8, 9 feet off you for a reason, Russ. I know you think, well, then I'm going to shoot. No, because you can't shoot, but you can do a lot of other things. There are people, Chiney, who think the thing to do is to make a head coaching change. Do you think Frank Vogel is the problem?
Absolutely not. Frank Vogel is not the problem right now. Their issue is heart and hustle. Let me take you back. In 2020, when the Lakers won a championship, they were number 2 in defensive rating. They had full team buy-in. Right now, they're 20th in defensive rating. Ever since Anthony Davis got injured December 17th, they've had the 5th worst defense, and they've allowed the 6th most points in the paint. That's heart. That's hustle. Obviously, they're missing their all-defensive, 4-time all-defensive, 3-time all-blocks leader. But right now, they have to find a way to play team basketball. And that starts with doing those little things, those dirty things, until you can get AD back.
And pay attention to details. Like, ultimately, Westbrook got benched because he wasn't paying attention to defensive details. That's actually good coaching from Frank Vogel. If he feels the cuffs are off now and he can bench someone like Westbrook if he needs to, that is the great Chiney Ogwumike, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.